You may be wondering, do I really have to have a niche to be successful on Teachers Pay Teachers, or can I just create whatever I want? And the answer to that is absolutely. You definitely can do that. As long as you're creating products that teachers need and it's a quality product at a fair price and you're being found, you're going to make sales. I just watched a video of a lady who's like, I don't have a niche. I just create whatever I want and I'm making sales. However, I think having a niche can help you be even more successful more quickly and with less stress. Hello everyone, my name is Sherry from Rolling Acres Education. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if this is not your first time. And you may be thinking, well, maybe it was easy for you. No, if you watch any of my videos, you know I really struggle with finding an ideal customer avatar. As a matter of fact, I still don't have one. I've earned over $2,000 with Teachers Pay Teachers, and I don't have an ideal customer avatar. But what I do have is a very specific problem to solve. And I think they can kind of serve the same purpose. Now, niche, ideal customer avatar, specific problem to solve, I think these are all kind of the same thing. And so we're going to look at today ways to find your customer avatar, your problem to solve, or your niche. And we're going to do it with 3 keys. Okay, but first I'm going to talk about why you may be struggling and why you might not be struggling, and hopefully help you kind of dial into where you should go with this. And I think it's because there's 3 basic reasons people become teachers. And one is they have a love of a particular subject. You know, these teachers, it's not, they love teaching, but it's not the teaching they love so much as teaching a specific subject. I worked with a math teacher. She loved math, mostly middle school math, and even more specifically 7th grade math. And she wanted to share her love of math with others, and especially students. And this is what made her a great teacher, is because she loved sharing math with her students. I also worked with a man who taught social studies, but his love was American history, specifically like 8th grade level American history. And he just loved sharing his love for history with his students. And if either one of these 2 became a Teachers Pay Teachers author, they would have no trouble having a niche. They might have to, in the beginning really narrow it down, but by golly, I know what they would do. She would do 7th grade math, he would do 8th grade American history, okay? Now, then you have teachers like me who just love to teach. We just love to teach anything and everything. If we learn how to do something, we want to share with everybody else how to do it. It's not so much what we're teaching, but just love teaching. We love to share knowledge with students. We love to learn things and share it with others. And then I think you have kind of I'm not sure what to call it, but kind of like a nurturing teacher. You love to just totally develop your students. And by that I mean you probably have a Pinterest type classroom. You probably have anchor charts. You probably love to write in planners. You probably have great classroom management. So either you love your subject and you are not going to have any trouble finding a niche, or you love to just teach everything and you're really going to struggle to find a niche, or you you love to teach, but you kind of love all the other stuff that goes with it. You love the planning and you love the decorating and you love, color coding and all that kind of stuff. So these could kind of help you find your niche. So the first thing we're going to talk about is finding your passions. And again, I got this from Think Media. I watched a Think Media video, and this was very helpful to me for finding my niche, okay? So number 1, think of all the things you're passionate about. And you can be as specific as you want without thinking too much, okay? So like you might want to say middle school math or 7th grade math or 1st grade phonics or chemistry or something like that. Anchor charts, planners, classroom decor. What are your passions? And they can be from all those. You could be passionate about classroom decor, chemistry, and planners, just whatever. Just list all the stuff that you're passionate about that you love to teach. For me, I love to teach math. I love to teach the physical sciences, and I love to make sub-plans, okay? I love to, these are all things that I'm passionate about. I love holiday resources. Just list all the things that you are passionate about. And I have a resource link below. It's free. You don't have to join an email list, and that can kind of help you get started. You can go through and look at that, because sometimes I think we when we think about teachers pay teachers, we limit ourselves too much to what we can create. So go look at that, figure out the things you're passionate about. Next, you need to think about what you're proficient in. Take those passions and ask yourself, am I proficient enough to write resources for these things that I'm passionate about? And for instance, chemistry. I love chemistry. I could probably teach a chemistry class, but it takes a lot less proficiency to teach something than to write curriculum for other people to use to teach. And so if I wanted to do chemistry, I would either have to become more proficient, or I would have to find one specific area of chemistry that I was very proficient in and focus on that as I became more proficient in the other areas. Make sure that you are proficient, or at least willing to get proficient in. Area number 3 is profit. And when it comes to teachers pay teachers, I think this mainly means competitiveness, because if you're proficient in something and you love it, then the thing you have to ask yourself is, am I going to be able to be found? Because no matter how great your products are, and no matter whether or not they solve problems that teachers have, if you're not being found, you're not going to sell products. So you need to make sure that you are going to be able to be found and that your niche is not too competitive starting out. Now, as you grow and get more followers and get more ratings and all those kind of things, you can start to branch out more, but you really want to start very specific, especially if you're in a competitive niche. Now, I don't think chemistry is all that competitive, but let's just say it is, and I wanted to do chemistry. I could start with something like chemistry vocabulary, and I could become the teacher pay teacher chemistry vocabulary expert. And you can do that with anything. If you narrow something down enough, you can become the expert on it. Let's say you wanted to do American history, and even if you say 8th grade, I'm pretty sure that's going to be pretty competitive. And so you're like, okay, what can I do? You could probably do something like the Revolutionary War or the Industrial Revolution or something like that. Or maybe you could do something a little unique like military leaders throughout American history. And you could become the expert on military leaders in American history. That doesn't mean that's what you're going to have to do for the rest of your teachers pay teachers life or career, but that's going to get you started, get you competitive, get you a following, and get you started. So I wanted to try with phonics, but I'll be honest with you, I'm really not sure how this would apply to phonics. I don't know, maybe you're just going to do diphthongs, okay? You're going to become the expert in diphthongs and you're going to create resources on that. I don't know if that's a good example, but you get what I'm saying. You're going to find something within that niche that you can become an expert on. You can become the person on Teachers Pay Teachers that has great resources for that thing, especially if it's something a lot of students struggle with. But you see what I'm going with here. You need something you're passionate about. And the main reason for that is because you're going to probably have to put in a lot of work without getting paid. Number 2, you want to make sure you're proficient in it, because although most teachers pay teachers buyers are paying you for their time, they could probably do what you're doing, they just don't have the time to do it. They still expect you to know what you're talking about, okay? And it's going to be a headache if you're doing something you're not proficient in. And then number 3, you need to make sure that it's going to be profitable, that you're going to be able to be found, it's not too competitive, and you're going to niche down and you're going to find something in that niche that you can become the expert in. So I hope this was helpful. I'm going to do a video on market research. I started to kind of do it in here, but again, I like to keep my videos around 10 minutes. And so we're going to talk, it's easy. I mean, I'm sure you can go in more depth to it, but basically it's just doing searches and finding out how many results show up. And we'll talk about that more in another video. But just remember, you've got this, God's got you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.